Hollywood cranked out a lot of baseball movies in the 1980s. We got such hits as The Natural, Bull Durham, 8 Men Out, and Field of Dreams. Then to wrap up the decade, we get Major League as a comedic love letter to a fictionalized version of the Cleveland Indians. We'll take a look back at this 80s comedy on the next Back to the Feature.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
I grew up on the Bad News Bears film trilogy of the 1970s, so I know that baseball and comedy go hand in hand. And when Major League came out in June of 1989, I was first in line to check it out, and I wasn't disappointed. This movie has a stellar cast. Tom Berenger and Charlie Sheen were both huge stars in the 80s and had previously worked together on the movie Platoon. A lot of the great comedy moments came from the late great Bob Uecker, who passed away earlier this year. He's absolutely hilarious as the Indians' radio sports announcer Harry Doyle. The movie opens with a montage of newspaper clippings that show the rise and fall of the Indians over the years. The peak came early with them becoming World Series champs in 1948. It's all downhill for the tribe since then, and by 1988, their slump had reached 34 years. Here's the basic plot. The owner of the Indians dies, and his Vegas showgirl widow, Rachel Phelps, inherits the team. She wants to move the team to Miami, but the team has a contract with the city. Fortunately for her, there's a loophole she can use to get out of the contract. She just has to make sure that the team is so bad that attendance falls below a certain number. Her first order of business is to cut the current players and replace them with inexperienced rookies and guys past their prime. She even picks Lou Brown, the manager of a AAA team, to come in and manage the team. As spring training starts, we get introduced to this group of misfits. First up is Tom Berenger as Jake Taylor. He's a former Major League catcher whose knees are shot to hell from years of playing. And then it's Dennis Haysbert as Cerrano, who just wants religious freedom to practice voodoo. Every team needs a diva, so in comes Corbin Burnson as third baseman Roger Dorn. He's near retirement, but can still hit the ball. He just can't field very well because he's scared of getting hurt playing. Then we have Wesley Snipes as Willie Mays Hayes, who shows up to training camp uninvited. A motorcycle pulls up and drops off Rick Vaughn, played perfectly by Charlie Sheen. Rick has a mean fastball, but his control's as wild as his haircut, which is how he earns his nickname Wild Thing. Did I mention that he came straight from prison? After everyone settles in for the night, some security guards sneak in to remove the uninvited Willie Mays Hayes. They just quietly pick up his bunk and carry him out while he sleeps. The next morning, the players are on the practice field running sprints. Just outside the fence, Willie is waking up in his bunk. And when he realizes what happened, he springs into action and shows just how fast he can really run. His show of speed is impressive enough to get him on the team. He may be fast, but he can't hit worth a shit. Every time he hits the ball, it goes straight up, so Lou tells him he has to drop and do push-ups every time he hits a pop-up. Vaughn is on the mound and is rocking some uniform modifications that Lou doesn't agree with. He shows them how hard he could throw with a 97-mile-an-hour pitch that sails over Jake's head and straight into the backstop. Dorn learns there's a price to pay for not getting in front of ground balls at third. Lou wants 40 sit-ups anytime he plays the ball off his hips. Cerrano bashes the ball out of the park a couple times, but quickly finds out he can't hit a breaking ball. It's like his bat is suddenly afraid to touch the ball. After practice, he prays to his voodoo doll Joe Boo to make his bat less afraid. Meanwhile, Rick and Dorn determine that they don't like each other after Dorn plays a mean prank on Rick. While out at dinner, Jake runs into his old girlfriend Lynn, played by Renee Russo. Their relationship was one that he screwed up, and she has since moved on. It's the first game of the season, and all of the sports press have picked the Indians to finish last. The tribe take the field to a mostly empty stadium, so Rachel's plan is off to a good start. The first game goes about as bad as you would expect, causing poor Harry Doyle to start drinking on the job. It was a complete disaster.
On into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Jake tracks Lynn down at her place of work and finds out that she's engaged to someone else. After 3 years apart, he can't be that surprised. With a record of 15-24, Rachel is worried that the team is showing signs of improvement. To try and reverse this trend, she decides that the players have been coddled long enough. It's time for some cutbacks on their travel methods. Jake stoops to following Lynn home and ends up barging in on a dinner party at Lynn's fiance's place. Her fiance convinces Jake to stay for a bit, and it's obviously awkward as hell for everyone. Rick gets called into Lou's office. As they're talking about how bad his control is, Lou realizes Rick is blind as a bat. He hooks him up with a pair of glasses to see if that might help him on the mound. Operation Eyeballs seems to be a success as Rick closes out the game with a victory, and Rachel is pissed, so she continues her passive-aggressive attacks on the team by removing such things as hot water from the locker room. After another victory, Jake spots Lynn in the crowd, and by the magic of Hollywood, he's able to run out of the stadium just in time to see her getting into her car and driving away. He steals the bullpen cart and follows her home. It's a golf cart, people. Unless she lived like 2 blocks from the stadium, there's no way in hell this is going to work. As a woman living alone, she strangely leaves her apartment door unlocked so Jake can just walk in. He sees boxes everywhere, and she explains that she's moving in with her fiancé. He has no play left but to do the old, "I'm just a boy," standing in front of a girl, asking her to love him. This isn't Notting Hill, Jake. That shit won't work here. Okay, I lied. It did work after all. At least for one night. The team has risen from the cellar to a 60-60 record, and Rachel has to up the ante on her plan. So bye-bye shitty plane. Hello, shitty bus. Lou learns about Rachel's plot and shares the details with the team. They decide that the only thing they can do at this point is to
win the whole fucking thing.
To add some motivation to a room full of testosterone, Lou brings in a cardboard cutout of Rachel. He figures 32 more victories is what's needed to take it all. For each victory, he will remove a piece of her clothing. Nothing like a little cardboard nudity to inspire the boys. We then get a montage of the guys working their asses off to improve their game. And yes, even Dorn is trying. Their hard work pays off as they win 5 straight, putting them in 4th place. Willie is stealing bases while Rick is striking people out, and Rachel is losing more and more pieces of cover. As the victories pile up, the Indians move into 2nd place and get their very own American Express commercial along with lots of magazine covers. The town is loving their winning team now. The crowds have returned to the games, and Cardboard Rachel is showing more skin. The Indians finish the regular season in a 1st place tie with the Yankees. As the news covers their team celebration at a local hotel, Dorn's wife sees him on TV canoodling with another woman. And hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. She gets her revenge by sleeping with Rick. Only he doesn't know that she's Dorn's wife, at least not until after the fact. When Jake sees her leave the apartment, he knows there's trouble coming. Before they can advance, the Indians have to play the Yankees in a 1-game playoff. It's a packed house at home and the excitement is in the air. Before the game, Dorn tells Jake that he's looking for Rick because he has something he wants to talk to him about. Oh, whatever could that be? By the bottom of the 7th, the Yankees are up 2-0. Dorn starts off a 2-out rally with a single to left, and Cerrano was up but quickly swings and misses twice. He's so pissed off that he looks at his bat and says,
"Fuck you, Jobu. I do it myself."
And that's all it took. The next pitch was gone. Game tied, the crowd goes crazy. We jump ahead to the top of the 9th with 2 outs and still tied. The Yanks get runners at 2nd and 3rd, and it's time to bring Rick to the mound. He enters the field as the song Wild Thing plays and the crowd sings along. It's a hero's welcome for sure. The question is, can he deliver? Of course, the hitter he has to face is his kryptonite. The guy has hit everything Rick has thrown at him all season. When Rick gets to the mound, he's a bit nervous. It's a mixture of the dude at bat and Dorn eyeballing him from 3rd base. Before he faces the batter, Dorn heads to the mound and Jake knows shit's about to go down. In a surprise twist, Dorn doesn't confront him about his wife. Instead, he just encourages him to strike the guy out. Crisis averted. 2 straight pitches, 2 straight strikes. Jake calls for the same pitch again, and after a slow motion delivery, it's a swing and a miss. The Indians go into their final at-bat tied. The Indians find themselves with 2 outs and nobody on. It's up to Willie Mays Hayes to get it going. Thanks to his blazing speed, he's able to beat out an infield hit. Jake is next up to the plate. He's 0 for 12 against this pitcher lifetime. The odds are forever not in his favor. Willie steals second as Jake takes strike 1. Jake then pulls a Babe Ruth and calls his shot pointing to the outfield stands. But I don't think the pitcher liked that move because he threw the next pitch at Jake's head. Not one to be deterred, Jake gets up and calls his shot again. As another slow motion pitch comes in, Willie takes off for 3rd and Jake bunts the ball. Now I just want to point out that the ball goes nowhere near where he pointed. Jake's old ass knees take him down the 1st base line where he barely beats the throw. While they were trying to throw Jake out at first, Willie rounded 3rd and takes home and wins the game. Everyone celebrates but Rachel. As the team high-fives and hugs on the field, Dorn punches Rick for screwing his wife. He then helps him back up and they go back to celebrating like nothing ever happened. Jake hobbles his way through the crowd to see Lynn in the stands. As they lock eyes, she raises her left hand to show him that there's no more engagement ring. So love wins. The Indians win. Everyone wins. Except for Rachel. This movie was a big hit when it came out. Its box office success was enough to spawn a couple of sequels, even though they didn't perform as well as the original. I really enjoyed this movie, and I think it still holds up pretty well for a baseball movie. I would definitely rank it in the top 10 of all baseball films. How would you rank this movie among all other baseball movies? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below to help grow this channel. I appreciate you taking time out of your day and hope you will come back for the next Back to the Feature.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.